What's up everyone, welcome to the Speedcube.co.nz YouTube channel. In this video we are going to tear down, clean and set up and rebuild this GAN 356M. Okay, so we're going to start by getting this thing apart so that we can clean it, ready for setup. And we can do that by popping out an edge, and that'll allow the rest of the cube to come apart. Now we're left with the core. Let's get the caps off. Now this cube is set up with yellow GES nuts. If you want to see a video about how to change those nuts without taking the cube apart, click on the old card here and that'll take you to that. But for now, let's get these nuts off. So just align your nut at 0 and then it'll come straight off. You'll be able to align the core piece as well with those teeth and get that off. Ew, that's a hairy core. Any of you who have pets will know that pain. Okay, so now that the cube is torn down, we are going to clean it. And what that involves is using either a paper towel or a clean tea towel to go through and give everything a good wipe so that we're starting from scratch with our lube and setup. Now, if you are using tea towels, make sure you ask whoever it is in your house who does the washing. Luckily for me, I'm the person who does the washing. And frankly, with a 2-year-old in the house, a little bit of silicone lube on a tea towel is the least of my worries. So we're all good. And I like to use a tea towel because less waste, yay. All right, so that's my core looking good. Let's start on the pieces. So what you're gonna see in a cube that needs cleaned is kind of like scuff marks. You're gonna see some grime, some goo, just general hand and atmospheric goo that works its way into cubes. It's gross, but it happens. Just needs a little wipe to get that dealt with. I love doing corners, it's really satisfying. So yeah, wipe the surfaces, wipe the stem, schmicko. And look, there's no getting around it. It takes a while. So get used to it, knuckle down, get it done. It'll be over before you know it. I've seen people go as far as to put their cube pieces in the sink with soapy water, but really that was kind of a while ago. And now we're dealing with so many magnets and quite complex parts. I really wouldn't recommend that. And this has always done it as well as I've ever needed it. So meh. Okay, there we go. Last one, looking shiny. Next thing we're gonna do is give the cores a bit of a wipe. Finally, the bottom surface of those GES nuts. Boop, boop, boop. These nuts went in like yesterday, so they're not actually that bad. And finally, just to finish cleaning, you're going to want to grab yourself some cotton buds, cotton swabs, Q-tips, I don't care what you call them, just get a hold of one and get that gunge out, specifically out of these cores. Okay, we are all apart, we are all cleaned, so let's get into rebuilding this thing. For the lube nerds, I'm going to be using some GAN standard lube to rebuild this thing, keeping it pretty factory, pretty standard. Lol. Depending on how it feels, I might bang a little bit of Maru in there as well, but I'll leave that until it's all back together and I can have an idea of what it feels like. So to do this, core, centerpiece, get your center on there. Next, grab your nut, and I'm going to apply a little bit of lube just to this surface of the nut here. Just a teeny tiny touch, and get it on there. Set it to 0.6, and I'm actually going to throw my cap on as well to keep that tension so that the nut doesn't move and change. Perfect. And then just give that a little spin, bed that in, and that's your nut lubed. We're going to repeat that process another 5 times. Just a bit. You've got to just push the center from the back just to keep the GES nut in place while you pop that cap back on. Okay, sweet. So that's our core back together with a little bit of lube under those GES nuts. Feels good. Now it's time to rebuild, but before we do that, we're going to take a little bit of lube and place it under each center. So by that I mean just in here on this surface. And what that's going to do is lube the tracks of these pieces. You don't need to lube the tracks individually on each one of these pieces, just a little bit on the center caps, and that'll work its way around into all of those tracks. So it doesn't have to be much. It's kind of like cooking. It's easier to add more than to take away. Okay, so let's start rebuilding. So start by getting an edge in, then a corner, more corner, bit more edge. Whoa, not that one. Bit more edge, bit more corner, get in, bit more edge. Then when you get down to this bit, you want to do edge first and then corner. Final edge on that bottom layer. You're going to start feeling some tension now. But it's pretty cruisy with a magnetized cube, TBH, and boop, there we are. There's that bottom bit. We can now bang in those edges. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. And then we do the top layer. Get an edge in first. Some corner. Bit more edge. Bit more corner. Bit more edge. Get in. Woo! The last two corners. Oh, and then finally the last edge. Now this is going to be a bit of a jumble getting it in. Be firm but gentle. And let it find its place. And then there we are, we're all rebuilt. And we'll take it for a bit of a solve to work in that lube. Oh, god damn, that feels fresh. That's great. That is fresh to death. Yes. That feels fantastic. So it's feeling pretty much like a out of the box GAN 356M, which is cool. But what I'm going to do for a special treat for my friend Zach, who owns this cube, I'm going to drop a little bit of Speedy Boy Maru lube in there, just to give it a little bit of extra rapido. Just a couple of drops. Let's not go mad. And then work that in. Oh, yes. Oh man, that's great. Woo! That is swift now. Okay, so that about wraps it up, really. That is how you take apart, clean, and set up a GAN 356M. Remember, if you want to know more about switching out GES nuts, check out my previous video. But until next time, take it easy, and I'll catch you in the next one.